Welcome to today's Explainer. We're jumping right into a super specific and honestly pretty high stress topic that sits heavy on the shoulders of a lot of property investors right here in Largo, Florida. We're talking about apartment buildings, but more specifically, we're looking at how to get out from under one when it's become way more of a burden than an asset. If you own a multifamily property in Largo, you already know the reality of being a landlord isn't exactly all passive income and easy living, right? It's often a really active, really demanding job. So in this explainer, we're going to dig into the data and the realities of the local market to show you exactly how owners are successfully navigating their way out. So let me ask you this. Do you own a Largo apartment building that needs major repairs, has tenant issues, or just a mountain of deferred maintenance? Maybe you've got units sitting completely vacant right now, or outdated apartments that you just don't have the capital to modernize. Or, hey, maybe you're even dealing with active liens. If you're nodding your head to literally any of this, I want you to know that your frustration is incredibly valid. Dealing with these compounding issues day in and day out, it's exhausting. It completely drains your time, it drains your energy, and definitely most importantly, it drains your bank account. Well, here is a massive revelation for a lot of property owners. You absolutely don't have to renovate to sell. Seriously. The traditional mindset tells us that to sell real estate, you've got to fix it up, make it look absolutely pristine, list it with an agent, and just wait for the right buyer to come along. But the data from our source material shows a completely different, highly viable alternative. You do not have to spend months of your life and tens of thousands of dollars renovating your property just to get it off your hands. There's a much, much more direct path. Moving into Section 1, the multifamily ownership headache, or as I like to call it, the daily grind of property management. Okay, let's dive into this. The reality is there are common property headaches that slowly chip away at an owner's resolve. First up, expensive deferred maintenance. And we aren't just talking about a leaky faucet here. We're talking about aging systems that cost an absolute fortune to replace. Then you've got difficult tenants and the ongoing vacancies that completely cripple your cash flow. On top of all that, you're getting squeezed by rising insurance and operating costs across Florida. And finally, the ultimate headache, code violations and active liens just hanging over the property. These issues don't just exist in a vacuum, They compound over time, turning what used to be a great investment into a total liability. Which brings us to Section 2, why owners sell fast, hitting that breaking point. What's truly interesting here actually is the shift from the building itself to the human being managing it. Personal life transitions are just as much of a driving factor for a fast exit as, say, a leaking roof. You have probate or inherited property situations where someone suddenly inherits an entire apartment complex they never asked for and really don't know how to run. There is profound burnout from property management. There are partnership disputes that just need to be settled quickly, or quite simply, an owner might just need quick liquidity or a smooth, fast exit so they can finally retire. The motivation isn't always just about bricks and mortar. It's about life. And backing up those personal pressures is a pretty harsh financial reality. Landlords right now are facing a massive three-pronged squeeze: rising insurance costs, soaring operating costs, and ridiculously expensive repairs. The profit margins that might have existed 5 or maybe 10 years ago, they're being eaten alive by these three factors. It pushes owners to seek immediate financial relief rather than playing the super long game of a traditional listing. There's also this fascinating meta-trend in the real estate market right now with how motivated sellers are searching online. They're using phrases heavily tied to speed, cash offers, and avoiding repairs. Search terms like "sell my apartment building fast Largo" or "cash buyers for apartment buildings Largo FL" are incredibly common. People aren't just casually browsing, they're signaling very strong intent. They're desperate for a fast cash solution because they are feeling the exact pressures we just talked about. All right, ramping things up with Section 3, the as-is solution, skipping the traditional real estate hurdles. And this brilliantly illustrates the two paths you can take. Let's compare the traditional route to the as-is route. Traditionally, you're facing costly renovations and endless cleanup. As-is, literally no renovations or cleanup needed. Traditionally, you're paying hefty realtor commissions. As-is, zero realtor commissions. And perhaps the absolute most exhausting part of the traditional route, endless open houses and repeated showings that just disturb your existing tenants. But look at the as-is side, no showings. Plus, the investment groups or cash buyers actually take on the responsibility of handling the existing issues after closing. You're effectively selling the problem along with the property. 7 to 14, that is the potential number of days it takes to close with a cash buyer. When we talk about speed, this is exactly what we mean. A traditional commercial real estate transaction can drag on for months, bogged down by financing contingencies, appraisals, and renegotiations after endless inspections. But selling your Largo multifamily property as is to an investment group can offer incredibly fast liquidity, closing in as little as 1 to 2 weeks. I mean, that's a total game changer. Now, let's slow things down just a bit for a reality check. Section 4, Florida Disclosure Realities, Transparency and Due Diligence. Because here is a absolutely vital legal caveat. Selling as is does not eliminate disclosure responsibilities. Florida sellers are still generally expected to disclose known material defects. This is crucial to understand. Selling as is not some magic wand that allows you to hide the truth about a property's condition. It simply means the buyer agrees to purchase the property in its current, fully disclosed condition without demanding you fix those issues before the sale. Transparency is still the absolute rule of law here in Florida. So even at lightning speed, cash buyers are still going to perform strict due diligence across 3 main areas. Financially, they're going to audit rent rolls, leases, and tenant history. Physically, they'll assess the roof, plumbing, HVAC, electrical, and all that deferred maintenance. And fundamentally, they'll review risk factors like past insurance claims, code violations, and your actual operating expenses. They're buying it as is, yes, for sure, but they still need a perfectly clear, transparent picture of exactly what as is entails so they can properly underwrite their cash offer. All right, bringing the energy back up for Section 5, your fast exit strategy, making the right move for your property. So here's the ultimate question to chew on. Are you ready to skip the repairs and just sell fast? You've got to weigh the daily burnout, the rising costs, and the really heavy burden of property management against the sheer ease and speed of an as-is cash offer. Is the potential upside of a traditional, drawn-out listing truly worth the months of stress, the upfront repair costs, and those ongoing tenant headaches? For a lot of motivated sellers in Largo, the answer is a resounding no. The relief of an immediate exit is simply worth more. If that sounds like you, our source material outlines a crystal clear next step for those ready to make a move. You can reach out to Largo homebuyers directly at 727-500-1042, or you can check them out online at largohomebuyers.com to get the whole process started and get a cash offer for your multifamily property today. So what are you waiting for? Thanks for joining me for this explainer, and we'll catch you next time.
Hello, I'm Doug with Largo Homebuyers. If we can be of help, please call us at 727-500-1042 and let's talk.